You ever had that light come on at 10 o'clock at night? Not the check engine light, the tire pressure one. You roll past the gas station because you think, I'll hit it tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes never. And when you finally roll up, the air hose is broken, or it's 50 cents a minute and the button is completely sticky.
And that's exactly why the inflator you keep in your garage matters way more than the tiny one rattling around in your glove box. Because a home garage setup isn't about maybe, it's about doing it right with the exact right tool before the tire gets actually dangerous.
By the end of this explainer, you'll know which of these 5 actually earns its shelf space. We're talking the budget option, the workhorse, the modern compact, a versatile mid-premium, and the total garage crown jewel. And we'll tell you the absolute biggest mistake that ruins this product for most people.
Open loop number 1. Stick with us.
2 months ago, I was leaving at 6 a.m. for a massive gear haul. Back tire reads 28 psi. I grabbed this ridiculously cheap pump from the trunk, plug it in. After 8 minutes, I'm finally at 32 psi. I drive out, and by mile 30, the dashboard light is right back on. I pulled over at 6:47 a.m., fed a machine quarters, and stood in the freezing cold for 12 minutes while some guy with an SUV hogged the second hose.
And that's the thing. People think literally any pump gets you there. Today we're ranking the 5 best tire inflators for your home garage in 2026. We are not talking about the ones that just sound good on paper. We mean the ones that actually work when you're tired, it's dark, and you just want to go inside. Let's count them up.
Number 1. The Budget King. The AstroAI A220B.
Now, this is where Dean and Marcus are going to fight, because this is incredibly cheap, but it's also really good. Okay, it's the AstroAI A220B. Retail price is about $32. Just $32. It's a 12-volt corded unit, plugs right into your car's cigarette lighter, features a digital display with a backlight, and it has an auto shutoff when you hit your target pressure. Maximum pressure is 100 psi with an airflow of 35 liters per minute. $32! For a little comparison, that's less than 3 tanks of gas. And for a home garage use case, I'm talking quick top-offs, bikes, sports balls, the occasional sedan tire. This is the absolute budget king. You plug it in, set your target, say 34 psi for a sedan, and it stops automatically. No hovering over it required. True, Dean, but it's a 12V pump. It pulls from the car battery through the lighter socket, and the cord is 10 feet long. If your rear tires are on the complete opposite side of the garage, you're either running the engine or stretching that cord really tight. Fair point. And yes, the hose definitely gets warm after the first tire. You absolutely have to let it cool down between fills. But here's the real-world story. I keep one of these in my trunk and another one under my workbench. For a quick top-off, adding 4 to 6 psi, it takes under 2 minutes per tire. In a real-world review, an SUV owner literally timed it at under 2 minutes to add 4 to 6 psi, taking it from 28 to 32.
The build weighs 1.9 pounds, has that backlit LCD, and it includes needle and nozzle attachments. It even remembers your last programmed pressure, which sounds like a small detail until you're doing 4 tires in the pitch black at midnight. But let's be clear, it is absolutely not going to inflate a 35-inch truck tire from completely flat. And at 100 psi max, you're hard capped for heavy-duty applications.
Right, but the price? $32 means if this thing completely dies in 2 years, you can replace it twice for $64, and you're still well under half the cost of our premium pick. For the beginner who just wants that dashboard light to turn off, this easily wins.
Just don't leave it running for 20 minutes straight. The thermal cutoff is a real thing, the hose can seriously overheat, and if you're inflating a full truck setup from low, this just isn't your tool. It's built for top-offs, not complete rebuilds. And here is your very first mistake that ruins this product for most people.
Running cheap 12V pumps continuously without a cooldown, and then assuming the tire is full because the motor hit its thermal protection and shut off. You check the gauge, it reads okay, but the tire never got enough air because the pump slowed down. Always double check with a separate manual gauge.
Number 2. The classic workhorse, the Viair 88P.
The price here is around $89 to $105, depending on the retailer, and it honestly hits that perfect sweet spot. It's not a toy, but it's not a massive luxury either. This is your classic garage workhorse. It's a 12V portable compressor, but with heavy-duty battery clamps, not a lighter plug, so it clips directly to your car battery. Maximum working pressure is 120 psi. Airflow is 1.47 CFM at 0 psi. The air hose itself is 16 feet, the power cord is 10 feet, so your total reach is roughly 26 feet, and it weighs 4.75 pounds. Not super light, but it's built like a tank. The duty cycle is 25 minutes at 30 psi. That means it can knock out 2 or 3 car tires without you ever guessing whether it's going to overheat and quit on you.
The difference from the AstroAI is huge. It pulls 20 amps directly from the battery, not through a cigarette lighter that might pop a 15-amp fuse. It has a solid metal pressure gauge built right into the top, not just a digital screen that might drift out of calibration over time. And
The chuck is a solid brass twist-on, not a cheap plastic clip that inevitably leaks air.
My real-world use for this? I had a truck with 33-inch tires, and I needed to go from 20 to 45 psi. The Viair did it in about 2 minutes flat. There's actually a review out there where someone exactly timed it 2 minutes for that exact range. It includes a carry bag, 3 inflation nozzles, a press-to adapter, and an LED work light.
The build quality is really the entire point here. It's IP53 rated, operates from -4 all the way up to 158 degrees Fahrenheit, and it has a permanent magnetic motor with absolutely no brushes to wear out. For a home garage where you want one dedicated tool that lives permanently on the shelf, not rattling in the glove box, this is it.
But, Marcus, it's loud. Not deafening, but you're definitely going to hear it. And because it pulls 20 amps, your engine absolutely needs to be running or you'll drain the battery incredibly fast. Do not try this with a dead car.
And the price, right around $90, is really the sweet spot. It's not so cheap that you doubt the motor's capability, but not so expensive that you're going to cry if it gets kicked across the garage floor.
Hold on, a really quick warning here. If you don't run the engine while using this exact pump, you can drain your battery way faster than you think. I watched a guy try to air out 4 tires with his engine entirely off, and by the 5th tire, he needed a jump start. Always run the engine when using direct battery clamps.
Number 3. The Cordless Speedster, the Fanttik X8 Apex.
This runs about $70, maybe a hair less if you catch a sale. And this one completely changes the conversation because it's completely cordless, it's tiny, and it is genuinely fast.
Let's run the specs. 150 psi max. Weight is just 1.76 pounds, roughly half the size of a standard water bottle. The battery is 28.8 watt-hours. Continuous runtime is up to 40 minutes from a full charge. And here's the number that actually matters. It fills a 215/55 R17 tire from 28 to 33 psi in exactly 56 seconds.
56 seconds, not some vague under 5 minutes claim. 56. And it has a fully active cooling system, so it doesn't just overheat after one tire, it can technically refill 17 tires continuously without pausing.
It also doubles as a USB power bank with a 10-watt output, has a built-in flashlight, a dual-screen LED display, and the manufacturer claims ±1 psi accuracy with altitude adaptive calibration. Plus, the preset modes beautifully cover cars, motorcycles, bikes, and balls.
Real-world story? You're in your garage at 9 p.m., you don't want to start the car up, you definitely don't want a long cord wrapped across the concrete floor, and you don't want to deal with snaking a hose long enough to reach all 4 corners of your car. You just grab this, set the preset to car, hit the button, and it's done before you can even check your phone. At $70, you're buying premium portability without giving up the speed.
But Dean, let's be real, the battery is only 28.8 watt-hours. That really only gets you about 3 to 4 standard car tires from completely empty to 35 psi. It is not going to do a full set of 4 large truck tires on one charge. And after 6 months of just sitting dead on a shelf, lithium degrades. You have to remember to charge it every 60 days.
Sure, and at $70, you're strictly paying for portability, not for the absolute fastest garage workhorse. That title still goes to the Milwaukee. But for the beginner who just wants pure reliability without fighting cords, or for someone who wants a solid second unit for motorcycles and bikes, this is exactly it.
But wait, let's jump back. What happens when that cheap $32 pump hits a massive truck tire at 25 psi? You run it for 15 minutes straight, the motor completely overheats, the air output drops to a crawl, and you look at the screen and think it's full. You drive off, the tire is actually still sitting at 27 psi, and 2 hours later you're back on the side of the highway. Don't use the AstroAI for a full rebuild, guys. Use it for maintenance.
Exactly. This is the one major mistake that ruins a cheap option for everyone. Use it right and it's an incredible tool. Use it wrong and it fails you right when you need it most.
Number 4. The Versatile Mid-Premium, the DeWalt DCC-020IB.
The bare tool price on this is about $130 to $169, depending on seasonal sales. But if you heavily invest in DeWalt 20V batteries already, like you have their drill, impact, circular saw, then this is absolutely the smart mid-premium buy. It's basically the Swiss Army knife of inflators. You get 3 separate power sources, a 20V max battery, a 12V DC cord, or a 110V AC wall adapter, though I should mention the AC adapter is sold separately. Maximum pressure is an impressive 160 psi, which is actually the highest on this entire list. High pressure airflow sits at 0.5 SCFM. The hose is 29 inches of really thick rubber with a solid threaded chuck for a totally secure connection. The weight is 5.5 pounds, so yeah, heavier than the Fanttik, heavier than the Viair, but remember, it's a garage tool, not a glove box emergency tool. The noise level is 77 decibels, louder than a household vacuum cleaner, but definitely quieter than your average shop vac.
It's got auto shutoff, a really nice digital gauge, heavy rubber feet on the bottom so it literally doesn't walk away from you while it's vibrating, and onboard accessory storage for the nozzles and the Presta adapter. It also features high-volume inflation and deflation modes, specifically for things like sports balls and huge air mattresses, not just tires. Here's the real-world use case. You have a dedicated garage workbench, you plug it directly into the wall with the AC adapter, you literally never worry about battery life, and then if you need to suddenly take it out to the front tire on the driveway, you just pop a 20V pack and go. For someone who already heavily owns the DeWalt ecosystem, you're saving cash because you're not buying into a totally new battery platform for just one single tool. The downside is pretty clear though. It's bare tool only. If you don't already have the battery, you're looking at dropping another $100+ for a starter pack. And at 5.5 pounds with a 29-inch hose, this is definitely not a pocket pump. It's a bench tool through and through. But for sheer versatility, moving from the garage to the job site to the side of the road, this is absolutely the best middle ground available. You get 160 PSI, you get 3 power inputs, you get a solid brand warranty, and you don't ever have to choose between going corded or cordless. Just know up front, this is not the absolute fastest unit to hit 36 PSI. That's the Milwaukee, but it is by far the most flexible. Hold on though, before we get to the absolute crown jewel, here's where it gets super interesting. Most people just blindly buy the cheapest option and think the problem is permanently solved. But the real mistake isn't picking the wrong brand, it's treating a $32 pump exactly like a $100 compressor. And that's exactly why we are doing this list by specific category, not just sorting by price. You want the budget pick for maintenance, the workhorse for full rebuilds, the compact for sheer portability, the multi-source for total versatility, and the premium for raw speed.
Number 5. The crown jewel, the Milwaukee M18 2848-20.
All right, this is where Marcus gets his absolute favorite toy and where I actually have to admit it's objectively incredibly fast. The Milwaukee M18 2848-20. Price is roughly about $170 to $199 as a bare tool. If you're already locked into the M18 battery ecosystem, meaning you've got the drill, impact, circular saw, sander, then this is the undisputed crown jewel of garage inflators. Look, the specs really don't lie here. Max pressure is 150 PSI. The hose is 36 inches long with an all-brass Schrader chuck. Weight is a solid 7 pounds. Again, definitely not a glove box tool, this is a garage tool. It comes with a massive 5-year warranty. And in independent testing, it hit 36 PSI in just 52 seconds. That's literally more than twice as fast as a Ryobi at 219 and noticeably faster than a Rigid at 119.
Marcus's proprietary TrueFill technology actually waits for the internal pressure to completely stabilize, checks the system, and then continues to fill until it hits the exact target. Plus, you get 4 customizable PSI memory slots. Set your truck at 50, your sedan at 34, your motorcycle at 30. And those anti-vibration feet keep it absolutely glued in place.
You literally just grab your M18 battery, fresh off the charger from your drill, plug it right in, and it's completely done before you can even check your phone. At 150 PSI, it effortlessly handles anything a passenger car or even a light truck needs.
Bare tool only, remember? And at 7 pounds, it's definitely not a trunk emergency pump you throw in and forget. But for the serious enthusiast who wants the absolute fastest, most meticulously accurate garage inflator,
this is exactly it. If you already have the batteries, if not, honestly, buy the Viair and commit to Milwaukee later on.
The 5 garage mistakes that ruin inflators.
Okay, before we give you our final verdict, let's close both of those open loops. First, the mistake that absolutely ruins this product for most people. They buy the really cheap pump, they put it on a massive truck tire from flat, and they just blindly run it for 20 minutes straight. The AstroAI and similar 12V pumps are specifically designed for top-offs, meaning 4 to 6 PSI, not for filling a giant 33-inch tire from 15 PSI all the way to 45. The motor overheats, the hose gets dangerously hot. The digital gauge might not even match reality anymore because the motor has totally slowed down. You think it's perfectly full, you drive off, and 2 hours later, the light is right back on. Second major mistake, not checking the cold PSI before you inflate. Tire pressure always reads high immediately after driving because the friction and air inside heavily heat up. You check it at 6 p.m. after a 40-minute commute, it reads 36 PSI. You think you're perfectly good, but cold, it's actually 31. You overfill it, you seriously risk blowing a bead on a hot tire.
Third mistake, using the completely wrong valve adapter. Most of these inflators include a Schrader, the standard car valve. If you try to use a Presta adapter without the perfectly right chuck, you'll constantly leak air, you'll literally never hit your target pressure, and you'll completely blame the pump instead of your own adapter setup.
Fourth, running a 12V pump with your car engine completely off. The AstroAI pulls directly from the cigarette lighter, which pulls straight from the battery. You will completely drain your car battery in 20 minutes flat if you're out there doing 4 tires. Always, always run the engine. Or step up and use a direct battery clamp system like the Viair.
And fifth, buying the $32 pump and entirely expecting it to do the heavy lifting of a $100 compressor. You really have to know your exact use case before you buy.
So my final verdict? If you're a strict budget shopper, if you genuinely just want the dashboard light off and refuse to spend over $50, get the AstroAI A220B at $32. Keep it solely for top-offs, aggressively let it cool down, and always double-check it with a manual gauge.
And my verdict? For a dedicated home garage, get the Milwaukee M18 2848-20. It's the absolute fastest, packs a killer 5-year warranty, the TrueFuel technology is brilliantly smart, and if you're already in the M18 ecosystem, it's not even a luxury buy anymore, it's just the smartest long-term play.
And for the absolute middle ground, get the Viair 88P at about $90. It's totally shelf-ready, and absolutely no battery platform is needed.
That's 3 fantastic answers for 3 totally different garages, but none of them are wrong, except buying the $32 pump and naively trying to rebuild a massive truck tire from totally flat.
Because then you're stuck at that gas station at 6 a.m.
Again.
So take a hard look at your setup right now and ask yourself, is your garage actually ready for the next low